Hi, Edwin Markham. It's me, Mrs. Adamson, and we have about one more week left of school. We're winding down, and we've had quite the break, haven't we, where we have been studying from home. And do you ever sometimes feel like, since everybody's home, that maybe you want a little bit of your own space, a little bit of your own place that's just yourself, just for yourself? So that's what this book's going to be about that I'm going to read to you. This is Leave Me Alone. Look at that little old lady right there. Does she look kind of cranky, kind of crabby? She does. But let's see what she's got. She wants to be left alone. Leave Me Alone by Vera Brosco. Once there was an old woman, and she lived in a small village in a small house. Just a tiny little house. Wasn't very big at all. But look at this. She had a very big family. Look at all those grandkids she has in there. Now, I've got 18 grandkids, but she's got a lot more grandkids than I do. That meant she had some very important knitting to do. She had to knit for all of them. Let me turn this so you can see all the pictures. But it wasn't getting done, all of her knitting. So there she is. She's got all of her skeins of knitting, of yarn that she wants to knit. And then she's got all these grandkids that she wants to knit for. Her grandchildren were very curious about her knitting. Were you supposed to hit the ball with a stick? Let's see. Were you supposed to eat it? Or were you maybe supposed to make your little brother eat it? That was kind of funny. Why did the ball get smaller and smaller the more you chased it? Because it's a ball of yarn, and the more you unroll it, it just gets smaller and smaller. The old woman was at the end of her rope. So she made her bed as neatly as she could, and then she swept the floors until they more or less shined. And then she drank some tea from her samovar. And then she packed up her things in the great big sack. And as she left, she shouted back, "Leave me alone," is what she shouted. So there's her little village and her tiny little house. The old woman walked through the deep, dark forest all by herself, but she wasn't scared. She made a fire so that she could see what she was doing, and then she sat down and she began to knit with all of her knitting. The bear family was very curious about the light from her fire and about what she might taste like. Ooh, look at that bear. And look at that. Ooh, I'd be scared. Would you be scared? I'd be kind of scared. There's the little baby cubs, and there's the mama bear. "Leave me alone," the old woman shouted to that bear. But they didn't listen because bears, they just don't speak English. So she picked up her snack and she left. The old woman climbed up the mountainside, and it was so cold that she found a small sheltered place. So she sat down and she began to knit. Knit, 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 knit. The mountain goats were excited to have a visitor, especially one that brought snacks. So here's all those cute little mountain goats, and they think, "Ooh, she's got snacks. Yay, she's got snacks." "Leave me alone," the old woman shouted to those mountain goats. But the goats were too busy fighting over the red snacks, which they all agreed were the very, very best. So she picked up her sack and she left. The old woman climbed higher and higher right up that mountain until she reached the moon. She reached the very top and she climbed right on top of the moon. She found a rock that was shaped like a chair. She sat down and she began to knit. So there she is. She's starting to knit. Boy, does she ever look tired. The little green moon men, who had never even seen a woman before, old or otherwise, they examined her with her handheld scanners that went beep, 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 beep. So there they are. There's little moon men. And they've got handheld scanners, and they're kind of examining her and going beep, 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 beep. "Leave me alone, she says to the moon men. But the little green moon men couldn't hear her because they didn't have any ears. So she picked up her sack and she left through a wormhole. You ever heard of a wormhole in outer space? The void on the other side of the wormhole was very dark and very, very quiet. She was absolutely, utterly, completely alone. So there she is, all alone. It was perfect for her. Soon she had no more yarn and 30 little sweaters that she had knitted. But she was alone with 30 little sweaters. So she put the 30 sweaters into her great big sack and she swept the void until it was nice and black. And then she had a cup of tea. And then she picked up her sack and she left through another wormhole on the other side. And she ended up in the very same place. When she came out the other end, everything was right where she had left it. Now look how nice and comfortable that little house looks. Look at all those grandchildren have done. They've got the table set for tea and a teapot on with some flowers in a vase and the fire roaring. It looks so nice. And she didn't say a word. She just passed out all 30 of those beautiful sweaters that she had knitted for all those grandkids. So 30 grandkids, that's a lot. I thought I have a lot with 18. 30 is a lot. Okay, there you go, Edwin Markham. Leave Me Alone by Vera Broxell. Okay, hey, have a great parade today if you go to the parade at Edwin Markham. Okay, bye-bye.